I have personally built 4 home service businesses from scratch. A residential cleaning company in Madison, Wisconsin, a holiday lighting company in Chicago, a second cleaning company in Minneapolis, and now a water filtration company here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Same model across 4. Same operator, same core structure of sitting in the middle between a service provider and a homeowner and running the business around them. I did not switch strategies between any of them. I just applied the same playbook to 4 different verticals. And I want to tell you which one I would start today if I had to do it all over again and why, with the actual numbers from each business sitting side by side. Because I think for most people watching this, the answer is going to be the same as mine. Before I get into it, if you're watching this and you are seriously thinking about building one of these businesses, whether that's a cleaning business, a lighting business, or a water filtration business, the link in the description is how we partner with people directly. We take a 5% stake, we place a trained operator in your business from day one, and we cover that operator's salary for the first 3 months. The link is there whenever you are ready. Now, let's get into it. To start, I want to run you through the actual numbers of the 4 businesses because I think that the comparison does more work than any opinion that I could give you. Business 1 was a residential cleaning company based in Madison, Wisconsin called Madtown Maids. Now, this was a residential cleaning company with some commercial and short-term rental. The average ticket was around $250 with 45% gross margin. We hit $10K per month in just 2 months. Business 2 was a second cleaning company based out of Minneapolis called Minnesota Nice Cleaning. I actually just got the approval to start sharing the name of that business from the new owner who actually folded it into a different company at this point. We did more short-term rental and post-construction with this business, slightly bigger jobs with average tickets around $330 to $350 and that same 45% margin. Again, we hit $10K per month by month 2. Now, business 3 was a holiday lighting business based in Chicago, Illinois. Mainly holiday with some permanent lighting thrown in. Average installs around $1,000 season 1 and more like $1,100 to $1,200 in season 2 with 40 to 45% margin. We did $100,000 in the first 9-week season and roughly $50K per month while running. Then we did $200,000 in the second season in the same 10-week window, meaning we were making roughly $100,000 a month in the second season. And last but certainly not least, my current business, Raleigh Water Pros, a water filtration business with average tickets around $3,000, contractor costs around 15 to 20%, materials around 30%, and gross margins somewhere around 40%. Now, in the next section, I want to talk about what actually made each of these businesses hard because they all had different struggles and they all had different upsides. The numbers tell one part of the story. The other part is what it actually felt like in the first 90 days because I do not want to make any of these look way easier than they actually were. With Madtown Maids, I just knew nothing. It was my first business. I had no framework or references on how to run the operations, how to handle clients, how to manage service providers. It was a lot of trial and error and a lot of learning through mistakes, but that's just what a first business is. The second cleaning company in Minneapolis, the hardest part was staffing. Getting reliable cleaners in a new market where I had no existing relationships was genuinely difficult for the first time. The model works, but you have to build those relationships from scratch, and in the beginning, that creates friction. With the holiday lighting business, the challenge was the timeline. You get 8 weeks to run that business. 8 weeks to learn how to sell, learn how to fulfill, learn how to handle problems, learn how to retain customers, and somehow try to hit your numbers. It is a sprint and you cannot slow down for anything. I learned faster in those 8 weeks than in any other period because the clock was always on. With water filtration, I'm only 35 to 40 days in as I'm filming this. Honestly, the hardest part has been that I'm running multiple businesses at the same time, and I know I have not been calling my leads as fast as I should be. Speed to lead is everything in sales, and I can already see how much better my numbers would be if I was more on top of that. The model is working in spite of that, which tells you something important. Next, I want to answer the question that I know a lot of you are thinking, especially if you run a cleaning business and you're wondering whether to add water filtration. My honest answer is that water filtration is not something you add to a cleaning business. Either start it as a separate business entirely monthly, which is a great idea and something I would genuinely recommend, or keep doubling down on cleaning and scale what you already have. And here's why I make that distinction. The only thing that cleaning has over water filtration is recurring revenue. When you build a cleaning book, those clients come back every 2 weeks or every month without you having to go out and find them again. The revenue just rolls. Once you've built the client base, it compounds on its own. Water filtration does not work that way. Every month you are going out and hunting for new jobs. You need new installs, new customers, new leads converting. It is more like fishing or hunting than farming. And if you're not generating leads consistently and closing them consistently, you do not have a recurring base to fall back on. That's the real trade-off. Cleaning is more forgiving once you've built it. Water filtration has a higher ticket and a more open market, but you have to stay active in your lead generation to keep it running and growing. Neither of those is a reason not to do water filtration. It's just the honest comparison that I think is worth pointing out. Now let's look at something that actually surprised me about water filtration when I started it. When I got into this, I expected the sell to be a lot harder than it has been. I thought that convincing someone to spend $2,700 or $3,000 on a water system would require real persuasion, real education, a lot of back and forth before someone said yes. That's not really what I've found. Most people who come in through our ads already know they want the product. They have been thinking about it for a while. They have probably already been quoted by someone else and either could not afford that price or just did not trust the company or like them. By the time they get on the phone with me, the conversation is not really about whether they want clean water. It is, can I afford this? Do I trust this person? Do I have enough information to feel comfortable moving forward? You're not selling the value of clean water. The value of clean water sells itself. You're just making it easy and affordable for someone who already wants to say yes. That honestly surprised me more than anything else about the business. And it makes the sales process feel completely different from anything else I have done before. The service providers have also been a very different experience. Plumbers are professional. They are licensed, they're trained, they take their work very seriously. The quality control headaches I dealt with in early cleaning, managing service quality across multiple jobs at different homes, has not been the experience in water filtration at all. You're doing less total jobs with less total service providers and way higher tickets and a higher level of professionalism. So let's get to the part that you came here for in the first place, which is, which one would I start today? If you asked me which business I would start first, if I had no mentor, no experience, and no one to shortcut the learning curve for me, I would probably go back to cleaning. That first business taught me everything: how to run operations, how to acquire clients, how to manage service providers, how to handle the problems that come up. Cleaning as a first business built the foundation that made every business after it easier. But if you asked me which business I would start today, knowing everything I know now, with access to the systems and the team and the experience we've built, water filtration, no question about it. Higher ticket, more open market, professional service providers, buyers who already want the product, a pricing gap in the industry that nobody has figured out how to close yet, a window that I think is roughly 6 months before more operators figure out what is sitting right in front of them. That's the answer. Cleaning taught me everything I needed to learn. Water filtration is where I would put that knowledge to work if I was starting today. And if I factored in not just my own experiences running my 4 home service businesses, but also the experience of consulting to over 400 home service businesses in the last 2.5 years, my answer would remain the same. If you're coming in completely wet around the ears without many resources or without much help, I think cleaning is a great entry-level business model. But for my experienced high-level operators who are ready to get into something that is more lucrative and has a much higher upside in a shorter timeline, water filtration takes the cake for me by a margin. So that is the honest comparison across all 4 businesses. The numbers, the margins, what was hard, what surprised me, and which one I would start today. Every single one of these businesses runs on the same core model. You sit in the middle. You handle the business side. Your service provider handles the job. The margin lives between what the client pays and what you pay your sub. The difference is which vertical you apply that model to and what the economics look like when you do. If you want to see exactly how we build these businesses alongside partners, the link is in the description. We have done this over 100 times, over 300 times across cleaning, lighting, lighting, and now water filtration. We take a small stake in the company, so we are invested in your outcome, not just your onboarding fee. Next video, I'm getting into the competitive landscape in water filtration and exactly why the market is wide open right now in a way that most service verticals are not. If you've been on the fence about whether there is actually room for a new operator in this space, that is the one to watch. I'll see you there.